also been impacted as a result of this situation. Now, if we are considering any that's intervention for both the teachers and the students, should they be moved out of the community? And if some interventions have to be considered within the community, in what form should it come, finally?
Yeah. All of them.
Hello, Mr. Kabono, I'm losing you.
Can you hear me though?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I say a lot of teachers do not hail from the communities that they teach. So most teachers are posted. So, for example, somebody may be from Accra, but is posted to Central Town or North Town to go and. A disaster situation like this, if he's been able to escape the disaster, will travel back to the place where he or she comes from because of accommodation, because of support, and so on and so on. And of course, because of this. So those will be very difficult to reach now. When you bring that teacher back to where the safe haven, are you going to provide that teacher accommodation and security? The problem is we're looking at it all because of the initiative that I made, that we have turned the most vital institution that should be an institution of thinking and an institution of planning and an institution of executing the plans into a political football field when people who know next to nothing about disaster are heading and managing this institution now. So they've been caught flat-footed, like I said. And let me tell you that the statements that you hear left, right, and center, it's a reflection of the picture I'm trying to paint you. But once again, the minister is suggesting, I'm suggesting moving the children to the nearest schools within the communities. I'm suggesting that people should volunteer to help them so that we make something little out of the nothing situation we find ourselves.
And I do appreciate all of these recommendations. Hopefully it falls on listening ears. Thank you, Mr. Kabono. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Angel Kabono is the president of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT. This is Hot Edition, but here at Media General, we set aside some time to raise support for victims of this dam spillage disaster. And as charity begins on home, the staff and the management members of Media General have put together a little support, and the many of you as well who have come through to also joining this call in a heartening display of solidarity. Lots of you out there, both near and far, have united to extend the love and support to victims grappling with the aftermath of the Akonsombo Dam spillage. And we do thank you so much for the clothes, the mattresses, the blankets, the provisions, the toiletries, the food, the papers as well that we're getting, and also the exercise books. We're getting sachet water bags, and then also many of you who have brought in provisions as well for them, and the cash donations as well. You can send to the mobile money number that will be, if you go on our Facebook page at 3FM927 right now, you're going to see the mobile money number that you can send your money to.
Let's come together to put a smile on the faces of the Akosombo Dam spillage communities. Help by donating cash, clothes, blankets, toiletries, food items, and medicine to our affected communities.
3FM927.
Contribute to the Media General 3 Foundation Dam Spillage Relief Fund.
On Facebook, Twitter,
cash
and
can
Instagram,
be sent through the 3 Foundation account.
And for those of you who, that's the 059-7433-110, 059-7433-110. That is the mobile money number that you can send your mobile money donations to. And then also the merchant ID 059-7433-110. The reference should be Akosombo, reference Akosombo. And please make sure that if you do send us the mobile money, kindly let us also know by sending a text to follow up so we can track it alongside. Thank you so much. Many of you who have done that, we do really appreciate all the support coming through. Jacqueline Bema of EcoBank headquarters, thank you very much. And then also the many members of parliament who have come through as well to help us. We do appreciate you. And this is something that we put together just to crown all the support that have come through so far.
Part of Media General's morning airtime was devoted to a call of public assistance in aiding victims of the Twin Dam spillage. The response was overwhelming, with individuals driving from distant locations to contribute essential items such as life jackets, bags of water, toiletries, clothes, shoes, and monetary donations.
200 pieces.
200 pieces.
Exactly.
If you're watching us right now, please give them a very big round of applause. They can't hear us, but we know you are clapping. 200 pieces of life jackets. God bless your business.
God bless you too.
And bless you.
We would also want to add 200 pieces of exercise books. This morning when I was watching you, I heard you saying the kids are displaced and they are currently learning under trees. So add that to you. Tomorrow we'll be joining you to battle as you go and do your donation. So add that to that one.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Swept away by raging floods.
I bought 20 boxes of spaghetti, 2 bags of rice,
your means
and
of
1
livelihood
box of sardine,
gone.
and some clothes.
Imagine the helplessness,
shoes and books.
the impotence, and the
So
frustration. Let's come together to put a smile.
Despite the general's response, it is acknowledged that more is needed to support the extended number of affected individuals.
Touched our hearts, and though we are pensioners, we decided to dip into our limited resources and help them in our own small way. We hereby present to the victims 3 trucks of fountain cool water, totaling 1,200 and 200 bags.
God bless you. God bless your kind souls.
Persons who want to donate money can do so through the 3 Foundation Momo number 059-7433-110 with reference Akosombo, or through merchant number 120494 with the merchant name 3 Foundation. Enquiries about the Dam Spillage Relief Fund can be made through 024312882. Individuals and corporate institutions willing to make donation of items can send them to TV3 premises from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. Your contribution holds the power to make a lasting impact. Don't hesitate. Act now and be a part of positive change.
And we thank you all for the many donations that have come through and will come through. And all throughout the day, and you can just pass by the premises of TV3 and 3FM and make the donation. Will be duly acknowledged, and we'll start the distribution of relief items beginning this week. So that's from tomorrow. So keep them coming through, because it is never enough, at least based on the impact of the spillage that we're seeing right now. We need more to be able to at least cushion the people who have been impacted by this unfortunate situation. This is Hot Edition, but as we go on, a private legal practitioner, Bobby Bunsen, believes that there are internal mechanisms that safeguard independence of the judiciary. This comment comes in the wake of retired Supreme Court Judge Justice William Atuguba calling for reforms in respect of how judges are appointed. He said this at a lecture organized by the University of Ghana Political Science Department yesterday.
To be arrested if the appointment process is transparent and genuine, so that good and competent legal materials get onto the bench. They have a reputation to protect, so they won't do certain things. But I appeal to the lawyers that they should have mercy for the country also. After making a lot of money over the years, it should be time to come to the bench and serve the people.
That's the retired Supreme Court Judge Justice William Atuguba. Now, In reaction to this, legal practitioner and lecturer of law at the Ghana School of Law, Bobby Banson, says the current constitutional arrangement has certain measures to ensure the independence of the crucial arm of government, being the judiciary.
There are internal mechanisms within the Judicial Services Act or the applicable law that regulates or provides for how persons, even if they are appointed by the president, are found to have flouted the law in terms of exhibiting that those biases manifestly, whether political or otherwise, could be removed. And there's a procedure for removal of even High Court and Court of Appeal judges in the Constitution. And so even though the president appoints the High Court and Court of Appeal judges, the Constitution and the other applicable laws provide for a means of removing those persons that the president has no control over the removal. And so, yes, the perception is there, but there's also the mechanism for the removal if there's evidence that the person who has been appointed by the president actually is no longer fit, let me put it that way, to be in that seat. And so the procedure for removal, that the president has no control. It is there in the Constitution. Now, my second response to it is what is the alternative of it? Our Constitution, as we have it, provided for that checks and balances. We cannot have it all. If we say the executive should not appoint, are we going to say that the legislative arm of government, which is Parliament, should do the appointment? The Parliament is made up of, it's very partisan. It's made up of persons who are there on political colors.
As Bobby Banson spoke to me earlier on Ghana Tonight on TV3, he's a lecturer at the Ghana School of Law and then also private legal practitioner. This is Hot Edition. You can find more of that and a number of reactions to the position taken by Justice Atuguba on 3news.com. But the majority in Parliament has declared the National Investment Bank, NIB, is not up for sale. According to the NPP MPs, the bank will continue to exist as a separate entity, contrary to a claim that it's been handed over to the ADB. The minority, through ranking member for the Finance Committee, Isaac Adongo, cautioned government against any move to collapse the NIB, charging government to rather capitalize it given the liquidity challenges. Addressing the media, Majority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre rejected the assertions of the minority.
Under their reign, when the NDC was in power, I don't like to do NDC and MPP, but this is a fact. Some 500 million was given to non-financial institutions. And as we speak, a lot of the money has not been recovered. A lot of the money has not been recovered. So the least our colleagues can do is to at least be careful when you are commenting about a bank that is mandated by law to help soar up and develop our industry. All of us can appreciate that we are gradually gravitating towards an election year. And so people are tempted to come and make all manner of allegations. I'm challenging the minority that if they have a better proof in terms of the management of the bank and what the board has done, if they've done anything wrong, they should come out and put it across. They should stop making these sweeping arguments and making sweeping allegations which does not end up to help anybody. One of the things that all of us need to help is that the bank needs recapitalization. Because if you look at their own correspondence, when the finance minister led the charge, and then sovereign guarantee was issued or was garnered through Parliament, and then the opportunity was given to GATS, the Ghana Amalgamated Trust, to lead the way to raise the necessary oxygen and the recapitalization effort. What happened was that the finance minister, the current finance minister, led the effort. Apart from the sovereign guarantee being given to GATS, the current finance minister led the effort to raise an amount of 800 million, which was given to NIB.
That's Frank Anodompre there. But earlier today in court, the Chief Justice Geto Tukono has declined the petition by the Office of Special Prosecutor to remove Justice Edward Chum from all cases of the OSP. My colleague, Lord Edward Sari, was in court earlier today.
The issues turned awry on October 18 after what appeared to be a mix-up in communication. Before proceedings could begin, lawyers for Cecilia Dapa sought clarification from Justice Edward Chum regarding the petition to have him changed. He told the court that he had been notified that the OSP had withdrawn the petition before the Chief Justice and summoned the case to proceed. Lawyers for the Special Prosecutor, led by Dr. Isidore Tufo, filed a motion of certiorari at the Supreme Court to quash an earlier decision of the Accra High Court granting an application of an abridgment of time which had been filed by Cecilia Dapa, explaining to the court that delay in the hearing of the case was causing her discomfort and stress since her assets and bank accounts remained seized and frozen. Additionally, lawyers of the OSP also filed a motion to suspend proceedings until the application at the Apex Court had been determined. The presiding judge thus adjourned the hearing to October 25 for the OSP to move the motion to stay proceedings. Shortly after filing the motions, however, Dr. Isidore Tufo told the court that the Office of the Special Prosecutor had not withdrawn the petition to change the judge as had been communicated earlier by the court. In court today, Justice Chum adjourned the hearing to November 8 pending the determination of the request by the OSP after an in-chambers meeting with Cecilia Dapa and her husband together with her lawyers. Counsel for the Office of the Special Prosecutor, who were absent, will have to move their motion to suspend hearing of the case until the Supreme Court rules on their motion to quash the Accra High Court's decision when the court sits on November 8. Lord Edward Sari.
That's my colleague Lord Edward Sari there. And if you recall earlier, the Special Prosecutor had raised some concerns about the Justice Edward Chum asking the CJ to recuse the judge hearing that Cecilia Dapa cases alleging prejudice towards the former sanitation minister. Well, that has not happened. We'll see how especially things play out and what the Special Prosecutor's reaction or response will be to the CJ's decision on this matter. But they ultimately decide who leads the political parties, but are barely appreciated. I'm talking about delegates of political parties or the major political parties in this country. Ashanti Regional Correspondent Ibrahim Abubakar has been interacting with some of the delegates of the NPP in the Ashanti region to understand what could influence their choice of a candidate on November 4.
Valued among political party members, but in recent time, majority of card-bearing members aspire to be delegates. This is to enable them be part of the decision-making process on who becomes a leader of the party. Kwabene Nyame has been a delegate for almost 4 years. Though he said he decided to be a delegate for the love of the party, he admits benefiting a lot from it.
At least, he
received a lot of benefits. Personally, my livelihood has improved because of the opportunities I get for being a delegate. At least, I can now send my kids to the best of schools. I even own more than one car.
For 66-year-old Amasewa, being a delegate for over 20 years has not brought any significant impact in her life. She appears to have given up on competence of aspirants and is now ready to sell her vote to the highest bidder.
Life is hard. I am unable to even eat fufu twice a day because of financial constraint. So for me, whoever pays the highest has my vote because we don't see them after votes. No one is ready to sacrifice for the country.
Well, so that's the NPP, some NPP delegates in the Ashanti region. Well, let's stay a bit further on this. Dr. Gosia Machiboti is a senior lecturer with the Kwame University Science and Technology, History and Political Science Department. Dr. Machiboti, thank you so much for joining us here on Hot Edition. I mean, these delegates are just speaking of the unfortunate reality that has been consciously, unconsciously accepted in our politics, is it not, that this is their cuckoo season when it comes to elections, and so they have to cash in?
Let me say good evening and also to express my appreciation for the opportunity. Like you just said, it's the unfortunate reality. Normally, in times of difficulties, especially when people are faced with financial challenges, all of us are rational. We want to do whatever it is. Generally speaking, even if they can get away with murder, some people will do it to collect money. So, at the barest minimum, that is the rational, if you like, response that the delegates are demonstrating to us. If they are being delegates, they stand a chance of getting money from time to time, or solve them. So, becoming a delegate is part of the political, if you like, duties that individuals will have to perform. So I like to believe that from the very word go, the idea or the rationale behind people deciding to become delegates might not necessarily have been, make financial gains. But then somewhere along the line, it also occurred, and they can only thank their staff and simply make the gains that they can make.
But the dangers of this phenomenon cannot be underestimated, is it not?
The what?
The dangers of this particular phenomenon.
It's not desirable anywhere. Generally, democracies, suffer from this challenge of monetization. In other jurisdictions, money, simply plays significant, roles, but not necessarily the way it's simply unfolding here in Ghana. Ghana's own is aggravated by the sheer size of the poor among us. And by the poor, we go in by the definition of people living on less than $2 a day. Recently, the country director of the World Bank, Pierre Laporte, indicated that many people's fortunes have simply gone down. Their financial fortunes have gone down, and the estimate he came out with is that about 25% of Kenyans live below this poverty level. So when they get this opportunity, they will take advantage. The dangers, you said, are a lot because, at least we are not necessarily assured of getting good leaders to represent us. If it gets to the extent that, individuals with the ability to pay our those who come out, then our whole system would have been hijacked. But that notwithstanding, money has been disturbing democracies around the world, even in the United States. Money has been becoming a problem, and we are yet here in Ghana even to look at that aspect of money, the way they affect campaign financing, the individuals who pay money to the political parties, simply finance their campaigns. Who are these people? Even in large countries, the United States, at that time there were efforts by the Chinese to simply, enter into the fray and affect U.S. politics. So exactly what is happening to Ghanaian politics. The challenge that we have with LMC and then the Chinese here in Ghana, does that emanate from campaign financing? So the dangers are manifold, and maybe we are only paying attention to some aspects of it. But democracies do suffer from, financial influence.
And to the extent that, I recall the CDD, that's the Center for Democratic Development, put out a report that indicated that some galamsey operators and persons involved in illegal activities in this country have been identified as financiers of political party activities in this country. That's how dangerous it can get, Dr. Amache.
It does. It might, provide us with some understanding of why it has been difficult to fight the galamsey menace. And I think this one of them has become so obvious, a known galamsey activist, actively engaging in politics and taking advantage of that. So yes, campaign financing to me is a higher or a bigger devil than giving these, handouts to delegates. Of course, it will affect if it does indeed decide the, ultimate outcome of who gets elected. Then it becomes problematic. And we know in some cases it has happened. Here in Ashanti region, it was money, and then it took other form. A member of parliament simply got some people to swear and oath, collected, her items and were obliged to vote for her. All these things are, some of the dangers that money could have on our democratic practice. But then, to me, the worst form is when, these people with money are able to, affect the political parties themselves. That is where public policy will be affected by these individuals. And then at the end of the day, Ghana will suffer.
Okay, and Mr. Abachi, Dr. Machi, quickly before we go, recently we had the Member of Parliament for the Bibiani and Yaso Bekwai constituency in the Western North region, Alfred Ocansey, the former boss manager, who disclosed that he has stored enough dollars to pay more than anybody can pay any delegate to win an election. I mean, he's come out to say he stands by the comment, by the way. Do you expect the NPP, for instance, to get into this matter and crack the whip if they are engaged, or that's if they are against any form of bribery in an election?
No, I don't expect them to do that because, who is going to take that action? They are all aware that if you want to get onto any of their offices, that you need to part with money. The party's national office, all of them have had to part with money to get elected into those positions. And so, you see, the problem here is poverty in the system. The problem here is poverty in the system. And because of that, I don't see that as a major threat, actually, given the fact that at the end of the day, the individuals who get elected into our parliament demonstrate that they are ready to do the job and they have had or gone through the proper training and stuff like that. So when you have people who generally all qualify, and then money has to become a tool, a tool that could enable one of them to come out, then that's okay. But to me, the main problem is what we spoke to earlier on. But just like you asked, I don't expect the party to do that. It will be behaving hypocritically. It's not the first time someone has come out like that. There's this MP, he used to be a member of parliament also here in Ashanti region, who indicated some time ago that although he paid 500 Ghana cedis per head over 1,000 people, I think the delegates in the constituencies, were getting to about 2,000 or so. He lost. That person lost, and then he was simply counting his loss and came out with that information. The understanding was that the person who won might have paid something higher. The party is aware of all. I don't think this is the time that they're going to crack anyway.
Dr. Machi, appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Dr. Machi is a senior lecturer, political science and history department, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. This is Hot Edition. We're live on KESME 107.1 in Tamale and beyond, also on W93.5 in Y and beyond. Stay with us. Business is up next with Michael Obodu.
Hello there, welcome to the business segment here on Hot Edition. My name is Michael Obodu. Coming up, Food and Beverages Association of Ghana cites high taxes for increased smuggling following customs bust of over 1.3 million cedis to tax evasion at the borders. Details coming up shortly. Please stay with us. Well, let's bring you our first story now, as the customs monitoring team of the Eastern Corridor has seized over 11,200 wax prints and 6,000 mobile gadgets that were being smuggled into the country by traders attempting to evade taxes. Official estimates that the duties and taxes on the fabrics alone would have exceeded 1.3 million cedis. This report has the rest of the story. According to the team, the trader responsible for the wax print had declared only 98 pieces in an attempt to evade paying duties and taxes on the goods, which is suspected to be imitation wax. The wax prints were intercepted at the Dabala border post in the Volta region during routine spot checks by officials of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. In a separate operation, officers at the Drapon post also intercepted the 6,000 mobile phones and tablets, which are yet to be evaluated.
We will slash it to 11,000 exactly. 11,000 full pieces imitation wax. We'll be talking around 1.3 million Ghana cedi without penalty. So if they are imposing 100%, that will be times 2. Normal taxes to 1.3 million Ghana cedis on this. The mobile phones, we are yet to get a value because we wanted them to pick a sample so that we'll get the value. We don't have all the values unless we go to the sector.
The division further highlighted the challenges faced in effectively carrying out its mandate at the borders.
We need logistics. We need men to come back because the borders are vast and they are porous. And when we close one side, another portion is opened. And before we get to know it's open, there would have been a lot of, goods, coming through. We do arrest rice, oil, and the like. And we have a number of informations that are, Togo is now decongesting their port. So a lot of vehicles are likely to come in.
Michael Obuju, 3 Business, Aplau. Now, meanwhile, the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, FABAG, has expressed concern over the influx of smuggled goods on the Ghanaian market, blaming the situation on high taxes and excess import duties at the ports.
Most of the goods that are brought in the country are on suppliers' credit. Some of them that are also produced locally by our industrial players are on interest rates hovering between 30–40%. That is the reason why some unscrupulous businesses have adopted unscrupulous means so that they can be able to cut down the cost of the product so as they can sell them at lower cost so that they can have quicker turnover. Even though we are English-speaking country, we have French label goods all over the market, which goes against our labeling requirements. What it means is that these goods were meant for the French market, and they have been brought into the English-speaking country. How did they come in? If they went through the authorized ports of entry, they would have been regulated, controlled, and they would not have been allowed to come in because they do not comply with our labeling requirements. But yet they are in the market, sold below the landed cost of most of the goods at the ports. All because the taxes are just way too high and people are finding various means to survive.
So that was John Awuni, who is the spokesperson for the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, FABAG. Now, away from that, in a bid to boost workplace productivity, corporate organizations are being admonished to prioritize the health of employees. According to Administrative Manager of Kokoport, Joseph Wahin Edu, this should form part of their corporate social responsibilities. He spoke to 3 Business on the sidelines of a breast cancer sensitization program organized by his outfit as part of the Awareness Creation Month.
I believe that every organization should prioritize the health of their office workers. That's number one. If your workers are not healthy, you cannot do anything. You cannot meet your bottom line. You cannot make profit. You cannot do anything. So it is very important that every corporate institution will prioritize the health of its workers and, if possible, as part of their corporate social responsibility, also prioritize the health of their stakeholders, the people they deal with. Because without that, the money that they want will not come. So it's very important that we do that.
Well, so that was Joseph Omane Ba, who is the administrative manager
of Cocoa Board. And in the business segment here on Hot Edition, for more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. My name is Michael Obudu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe. Up next is sports.
It's time for sports here on the 3FM Hot Edition. My name is Bill Lishen. We're going to start off from Europe, which is the UEFA Champions League. Of course, some matches are going on as we speak in the UEFA Champions League, and we're going to provide you the results that are happening so far in the competition. Now, Barcelona are currently leading Shakhtar by 2-0, and Feyenoord are leading Lazio also by 2-0. Now let's look through the fixtures for this evening. Antwerp will be facing FC Porto. Celtic will face Atletico Madrid. Newcastle will face Dortmund. PSG will face AC Milan. Leipzig will face Red Star Belgrade. And Young Boys will be facing Manchester City. Now, Manchester City defender Manuel Akanji believes the Young Boys won't be scared of his team and will try to play their football.
I only had him for half a year, if I'm guessing right. He was a really good manager, but I think he developed as well as a manager. He was in America, then now back in Switzerland doing a good job at the Young Boys. So it's hard to tell. I think they won't be scared. I think they try to play their football. I think they try to be brave. But in the end, we're coming here. We got to focus on ourselves, and we come for the 3 points.
They'll try to be brave. That's according to Manchester City defender Manuel Akanji on the Young Boys. Now in local football, Mediama SC grabbed their second win of the season as they defeated Nations FC by 1-0. They are currently 11th on the Ghana Premier League log. Still on Mediama though, they would not play at the Takwa and Abosso Park for the CAF Champions League campaign this season because it is not yet completed for use. Now, Secretary of the Foundation for the TNA Park, that's Abdul Razak Yakubu, has revealed that the stadium will be ready for use in the first quarter of 2024.
The foundation is projecting to complete the work sometime in the first quarter of 2024. There are several things outstanding that we will need to complete before handing over. Most important, as you all agree, is the playing pitch. What would we come and do here if we don't have a good state-of-the-art playing pitch for the game? So you can all see that is not yet completed, and we are keen to do so very soon. The external works, the car parks, the walkways, as well as connection to utility are still outstanding.
Let's end with women's football, where the GFA has offered Ghana Women's Premier League winners Ampem Dakwa ladies the Ghana Man Technical Center to train ahead of the Women's Champions League. Now, they will train for a week for the tournament, which is set to start on November 5th of 2023. Best of luck to them. Now, that brings an end to the sports segment here on the 3FM Hot Edition. My name is Billy Shen, and up next is entertainment with Akofa standing by.
You're still tuned in to Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. It's now time for the entertainment news segment powered by 3 Entertainment. My name is Akofa. Now, the newly elected president of the Musicians Union of Ghana, Musica, Bessa Simon, says his administration will empower and enable members to thrive in the digital economy. Together with his other executives, they intend to work hard to promote the welfare of members and advocate for better working conditions for Ghanaian musicians. Bessa Simons was speaking at the swearing-in ceremony held for the union's newly elected executives in Accra. Here is a report by 3 Entertainment's Osuwarai.
That I will at all times preserve, protect.
President-elect Bessa Simon said his administration will empower members to be able to thrive in the digital economy.
Over the next 4 years, our key focus will be to empower our members and musicians to be able to thrive in the digital economy. We will do this through collaborations with key partners to achieve various objectives. Among these will be building the capacity of our members to enable them to achieve financial solvency.
Among other things, the new executives hope to work hard to promote welfare of members and advocate for better working conditions for musicians.
The welfare of our members is also dear to us. And for that reason, we will intensify the drive for the Musica SIC life insurance and work with all the partners, including UNIWA, to get our members on SNIT and other pension schemes. We will also continue to advocate for better working conditions for musicians, and I would like to call on the government to waive the duties on the personal equipment imported by musicians to ply their trade.
The renowned musician and prolific composer also called for unity and urged all to put their shoulders to the wheel to build a vibrant musica.
Well, away from that, let's turn our attention to the Deputy Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Marco Kweku-Manteh, who has cited poor governance and lack of transparency as the root cause of the constant agitations in Musica, the Audio Visual Rights Society of Ghana, ASOG, and GAMRO. Mr. Manteh is convinced that practicing good governance will help to partly deal with the litany of grievances and allegations that are often leveled against the leadership of these bodies.
When I went for my veteran about 2 years ago, I remember one parliamentarian asked, "What do you think the problem is with Musica?" It came up, it was part of my veteran questions. And I mentioned good governance. Because if we do not practice good governance, which is a challenge amongst all the groupings, GAMRO, ASOC, Musica, and that's why you always find people wanting to fight the leadership of the various groups. So I'll speak of rule of law, which Musica has done well with the rule of law. When the issues came up, you went to the law, and that's why we're here today. Efficiency, effectiveness, using little to achieve more. Participatory, let's get everybody involved in the things we do. Decision making, the right people. Equity, the knife should cut left and should cut right. The knife should not be seen as cutting one side, the other side, and they are fine. That is not acceptable. Accountability, we all know, it's always been the issue of the people in the arts. Transparency, fairness, that is the way to go. I think music is a good business, and I'm sure if you talk to Sarkodie or a Stone Boy today that music is a bad business, one of them will curse you. Because it is a good business. If you position yourself well and you know what you're about, it is a good business. It's a money-making business, and we should see it as such.
And that's how we end the entertainment news segment here on Hot Edition, powered by 3 Entertainment. My name is Akofa. Thanks for joining me, and I'm back on radio at 8 p.m. with Wind Down. Alfred?
Well, yeah. And so Marco Kweku-Manteh is essentially saying that it is those who don't know what they're about, who don't see music as a business, essentially. So that has to be, it's a good advice, you know.
It is good advice. It is good advice. And yeah, we're hoping that they pick it up, because I think he was saying this at the swearing in of the new executives of Musica.
True.
And so we're hoping that the ideas that they also have will essentially help the union at the long run, or in the long run.
Well, there's more news on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com. That's it for Hot Edition. Join me at 10 p.m. on TV3 for Ghana Tonight. I am Alfred Ocansey. Have a great evening.